I'm Kate Geronios, and I'm the Executive Director of the Missoula Humane Society, and we're here in the cat room at our current shelter, which is located on Clark Fork Drive. Down, easiest way to describe it is by the new Walmart off of the intersection of Mullen Road and Reserve. Our official mission is to bring people and animals together to enrich each other's lives. And when we do that, it obviously means that we're taking in stray and abandoned, abused, homeless animals. But it also means that we try to provide programs for the public that help them with problems that they might be having with their animals to encourage that human-animal bond. We are not a city-county funded agency. We're totally a nonprofit, so we rely solely on donations. We have an open admissions policy, which means we take any animal that's brought to us, and we do that by asking for a lot of donations and hoping that people come to our fundraising events. In fact, I think it's about 40% that we take from outside the Missoula city limits. We take dogs, cats, puppies, kittens. We also take wildlife, but we don't keep it here. We send it to licensed rehabilitators. And then we take guinea pigs, rats, mice, your variety of small, what we call pocket pets, but sort of small caged pets. We ask that people that are bringing animals in, bring them in between the hours of noon and 5. If people are bringing their own animals in, which accounts for about 50% of the animals we get in, the more information we have about those pets, the easier it will be for us to place them later. So we know if they like children, we know if they get along with other dogs or they get along with cats. And that helps us to find a more appropriate placement for them. If people have stray animals, they're welcome to bring those in during the same hours. And there is no charge to bring a stray animal to us. We do, of course, ask for a donation because that's how we keep the doors open, but there isn't a charge to do that. When animals come to the shelter, everybody receives vaccinations, wormings. We check their ears for ear mites, make sure that they don't have any fleas or lice or any kind of parasites. I would say the average amount of time that we keep cats would be less than the average amount of time that we keep dogs, simply because we get a lot more cats than dogs into the shelter. So for cats, it would probably be 3 weeks to a month, and dogs would probably be closer to a month to 6 weeks. And we base the decisions on who we are able to keep to adopt on their general temperament, their past history, their physical and emotional health. We don't believe in keeping animals if they're showing any extreme signs of stress when they're caged. When people are interested in adopting, the best way to do it is to come in. Well, they can visit our website actually, which is www.missoulahumanesociety.org. So we always have a list of pets that are available there, although the best way to do it is to come in and visit with the animals. It's always good to stop at the front counter and tell us what you're looking for, or even better, fill out our adoption paperwork, which is called a matchmaking form, and that just tells us what you're looking for in a pet, in terms of whether you want one that's already got some training, how much activity level you like, and then we can help to point you in the right direction of the pet that might best suit your lifestyle. Then once we get you matched up, we'll sit down with you and we'll talk to you about that pet's history, what kind of vaccinations they've had, what they still need, and spend about 20 minutes answering any questions you might have about how to assimilate them to your home or any other pets that you have. We have two different types of foster programs. One is if you are interested in adopting, but you're not quite sure that this is the right animal for you, or you have other pets at home and you want to make darn sure that they're going to get along, we'll do a 2-week trial foster period. And what that means is we'll send the animal home with you for a maximum of 2 weeks and kind of help you through that adjustment period just to make sure everything's okay. We also have a foster program that's more of a volunteer program, and that's what we use if we have, for example, we can't keep kittens in the shelter until they're 8 weeks old. So we might use a foster home. If we get kittens in that are only 6 weeks and we need them to be fostered for 2 weeks, then we'll use volunteers for that type of program. We don't really have very many very strict policies in terms of adoption, except we're very strict about spaying and neutering. That's something that isn't an option. Everybody has to be spayed or neutered before they're adopted. We're pretty flexible about everything else. Our main objective in an adoption program with any adoption of any animal is to make sure that we do our best to ensure that that animal is going to be taken into a home and kept there permanently. So we're looking for a permanent match. We're not just looking for a home where they can stay for 6 months until somebody moves. So what we're trying to do with that process is make sure that you've got an animal that you're happy with so that they'll stay with you for the rest of their natural life. And one of the biggest questions that we get is, can I adopt an animal if I work all day? Well, most of us have to work all day, so there's no reason why we would not adopt an animal to somebody that worked all day. We all have to have jobs, and we have to go out and earn a living so we can buy our pet food. One of the reasons why we aren't flexible about our policy about spaying and neutering is because we wouldn't exist if there wasn't an animal overpopulation problem. So unfortunately, that's something we don't flex about. And we have to euthanize probably between 800 and 900 animals here a year. Some of those are dogs that might be aggressive and we're not able to adopt them out. Some of those are very tiny kittens who come in without mothers that we aren't able to keep here. But the bottom line is there are too many animals, and until people make a commitment to the pets that they have and agree to spay and neuter, unfortunately we'll still be here. Unlike most businesses, we'd like to put ourselves out of business. We'd love to not have to be here because that would mean that there weren't any homeless animals. We get about 1,800 animals in a year, and we have for about the last 5 years. A little over half of those are cats, the rest are dogs, and a very small percentage are rabbits and other small animals. Out of the animals that we get in, we adopt out between 50 and 60% of those animals, which actually, based on the national average, is high. The national average among other shelters nationwide is about 30%, which means they're euthanizing about 70% of the animals that they get in. It costs about almost $250,000 a year to run the shelter, and all of that comes from donations and fundraising events, fees for services, basically donations. We have our hand out and we're always asking for people to make donations, and that's how we stay open. We do also have special programs that people can donate to. We have a fund called the Emily Cantor Fund, and that's in memory of a little girl who passed away some years ago. And this fund was established in order to provide care for animals that come in that might have severe enough injuries that we might not be able to keep them if we didn't have a medical fund on hand to pay for it. So we have, that's available if we get an animal that has a broken leg or they need an amputation or something serious. We also take in-kind donations, which is great because we always need cat food and cat litter. We need things like bleach, towels. There are ways that people can donate that don't take a lot of cash. I mean, if you go to garage sales, we'd love it if you brought us a couple bags of bedding that you find at garage sales, or towels or rags. But again, pet food, canned dog and cat food are always helpful. And then, of course, we always take volunteers. So if you're not able to help monetarily, or even if you are, we're always looking for volunteers that can come and help with the animals or help with special events. Most of the vets in town actually donate free spay and neuter surgeries for us every month, which is fantastic. Those animals that are spayed and neutered already have a much greater chance of being adopted, so we're very thankful for that. We do cage sponsorships, which is a really neat option, and those can be done in honor or memory of a person or a pet, and we have all sorts of varieties of, you can donate anywhere from $30 to $150 and get a variety of cage sizes and types, so that's another fun way to donate. We are actually in the process, just beginning a capital campaign for a new building, which we're very excited about because we've been here at this location for 40 years, and if you get any shots of the building, you'll see that it's definitely seen better days. The floors are very slanted, we have big cracks in the walls. We just basically don't fit in this building anymore after 40 years. So we'll be looking forward to letting everybody know probably in a few months all sorts of ways that they can help and come to an event or buy a brick and support the shelter that way. So that's very exciting. So we're open from noon to 5 Tuesday through Saturday. That's when we do adoptions and also accept animals. They can also visit our website at MissoulaHumaneSociety.org or give us a call at 549-3934. on May 31st, we have our annual Ken Shugart Humanitarian Award and silent auction. And what that is it's a really fun event where we have appetizers and beer and wine and lots of great stuff on a silent auction. And we give an award to somebody in the community who's done a lot for animals.
Good evening. Can I have your attention, please? Thank you. Welcome to the annual Shugart Awards. We're very happy that you came. Please spend every penny you made this year before you leave. That would be just wonderful if you would find. We have lots of things to do tonight. I'll make a very short speech so I don't bore you to death. Thank you, John. First, as every year we should do, and may not have done it for a few years, I would like to thank the staff of the shelter for all the miracles they perform on a daily basis. Not thank Kate for having her baby and putting me in charge tonight. For those of you that don't know, Kate had a lovely little girl named Sophia. Every year we try to think very cleverly about who we should give our awards to in honor of Ken Shugart. Every year it's very easy to say we should give it to the staff, candidly. And if nothing else, we probably should. This is our 40th anniversary, which is very difficult to believe. In honor of that anniversary, we chose to give the awards to the two ladies that are most responsible for founding the Humane Society in Missoula. I tried to come up with good words to describe these wonderful ladies all afternoon and failed miserably because Kate did it so well, so I will just simply read Kate's statement. Again, we are celebrating our 40th year serving the Missoula community. We will give the Shugart Award to the two ladies that played the most significant role in establishing the organization in 1963. We are absolutely thrilled to give these awards to Ms. Thelma Peterson and Ms. Barbara Dahlgren for the selfless efforts and unbelievable dedication it took to establish the Humane Society 40 years ago. In 1963, these ladies organized other volunteers in an effort to construct a facility to be used for a new animal shelter for the Missoula community. Both ladies dedicated years of their lives to the cause, and they weren't just on the board. They were secretaries, they were fundraisers, they were fund collectors. They did everything you can possibly do with the shelter. They gave of their own funds consistently. They recognized the necessity of combining education to the public on spay and neuter programs in order to minimize the problems of the overpopulation. Barbara actually was the president of the State Federation of Humane Societies of Montana, and she had the honor of speaking at the American Humane Association conference in 1971. In very blunt terms, these ladies are directly responsible for Missoula having a Humane Society. That's a very simple statement, but it's a very complex thing to accomplish. And I would congratulate them both for not only their desire to help Missoula, but obviously their desire to help all the animals in Missoula. Congratulations. Unfortunately, both ladies' health does not allow them to attend tonight. Is anyone here to accept for Thelma?
Hi, my name is Peggy, and I'm Thelma's personal care aide. Thelma was put on our hospice program a couple months ago, so she wasn't able to be here herself tonight. But she did want me to say some things, so I took some notes with her supervision, of course. I can't think of a more deserving person than Thelma for this award. She's extremely excited and thankful for it. She's already got a place picked out on her wall for the plaque. Thelma is a woman of great strength and integrity. before she would accept this award, she wanted me to be certain that all of the other people who helped influence the founding of the Humane Society were also included in this award. Barbara and Dale Dahlgren, her son Francis, and first and foremost, her late husband John, whom without his help, Thelma says, the animal shelter could never have been established. And Thelma also wanted to thank all of the many concerned citizens who in the early years would call Thelma all hours of the day and night and tell her about different animals that were being abused and neglected by their owners. Thelma would immediately get the ball rolling, usually taking her husband John and going in the middle of the night to steal, she said literally steal animals away from their terrible living conditions. She wanted you all to know that she stole these animals. I wish you could all know Thelma as I do. She is a very kind soul with a happy spirit and a great love for all of life. What most of you don't know is that during all of those years that Thelma was founding the Humane Society, she also had many extreme circumstances and responsibilities at home to take care of. Both her ailing elderly mother and her invalid brother, who had become ill with encephalitis at the age of 17, were Thelma's sole responsibilities. Thelma nursed both of them in her home without any outside help. Her brother was a very large man and was paralyzed from the waist down. Thelma never complained about those days or her responsibilities. She tells many, many wonderful stories of the joy that the animals that she saved and brought home to her own home brought to both her mother and her brother. Thelma was her mother's youngest child, more than 29 years younger than her oldest sibling. And at her birth, her mother predicted that she would someday be the loving, caring caregiver that she was. I'll end now by saying once again how thankful Thelma is for this award. She still talks with tear-filled eyes about the first day that she went over to find a kitten for her neighbor and walked into what she calls, in her words, a living place of hell for the sad, displaced animals who were able to survive the tremendous horror in the place off Park Street 40 years ago. That very day, she called Barbara Dahlgren, and the two of them sat down and began what we all know today as our Missoula Humane Society. Thelma still holds on to and treasures this first article in the Missoulian that describes the opening of the new Humane Society. And she wanted me to generously offer a copy of it to anybody who would like it. It's dated March of 1963. Thank you.
Did Dale make it to accept the award?
I want to make a statement. Thelma was the one that started this whole thing. She went out to the Humane Society, what they called the Humane Society here then, and to get a kitten for somebody, their neighbor, and found kittens frozen in the ice and about just as much dirt in each, manure in each can and everything else. And she called up Barbara, and so of course I had to go along. And if you knew these two women, when they started to do something, you're all volunteers. And lucky you didn't know you all there. You'd all been out there doing the work out there. And we finally built it out there, and we moved the animals in December out of that place out there because it wasn't heated there. It didn't have water and stuff like that out there. We fought that thing out there for about a year and to get it back up to where it was halfway decent. And then we got volunteers to help us build the place out. And Dr. Prine helped us find the land out there. And then we had the only people that was paid for it was the contractor and the caretakers, that we built a little one-room building next in the Humane Society, which we had a caretaker out there. That was the only two paid for 120 years out there. So it was a real good proposition for Humane Society. And the only thing that was bad for Dahlgren's residents, because any sick animal would come home to our place, and we'd have 10 to 13 animals at our place most of the time. But these two women were probably the most wonderful deal for this, the Missoula that's ever happened.
On our 40th anniversary, I'm also very pleased to announce that we have acquired a new facility. Most of the folks in this room know that the Humane Society hits the same people year after year after year. And that's just awfully kind of you folks. We'll be hitting you again for the new building. There'll be some more things we have to do out there. But we are very, very excited about this, and we hope to have our campaign up and rolling soon, so please maintain your generosity as you always have. Thank you so much for coming. Please enjoy yourself. Thank you for all you do.